Alright, so it is the day after the duel. There was a celebratory party for you all afterwards. You were invited to several different dinners. And then you turned in for the night. You awake on the next day. Let me just double check that I have the timeline correct. Duels, yeah, so you awake the next day, the 25th, which is a rest day. So most of the city is off. Let's see, Alina, you received sort of an open dinner invite from Rowan. He did not specify a date. Similarly, Abel, you received one from your kind of uncle, Count Chilton Castle. He also did not specify a date. But as you guys are sort of starting your day, you do receive a message that Archbishop Kenneth Spade would like to talk with you about his research into potential relics or other things of interest for fighting demons.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
All right.
Sounds like a
Is
plan.
all right. Is everyone going?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you all head to the Cathedral of Felmar. The receptionists by now know that if you are there, then it is a priority for them to let the Archbishop know. You are led into their chambers. His attendant is still the young orc gentleman who sort of greets you, brings in some. It's probably like some brunch, some fresh fruit and pastries and such. Uh, and the Archbishop is behind his desk with just piles of books and maps strewn everywhere. You can tell that he has been doing research. It looks like himself, uh, based on your guys' suggestions. There are maps of what used to be Northern Lothram, but is now the Knowlands. There are some very not really well detailed maps of the northern Garen Woods, of what is now the Wrathwaste and such, as well as various reports and letters just strewn across everywhere. He's like, oh, good, you're here. Take a seat, take a seat. It was good duel yesterday.
Why, thank you, sir.
Ah, Never going to win. It's kind of unfair to put a knight eternal up against even a royal knight. It was a good showing. Good showing. But yes, no, you had a request from me, I believe, to search out potential other relics and places of interest. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I have been able to locate two such. Uh, two such opportunities, I believe. And he opens up the. Nope, not that one. Why is that one no longer in the navigation? There we go. All right. So, the first one, the princess asked me to look into any potential relics that might have been lost in northern Lothram when it was overrun by the gnolls. And there is one close-ish to the border, not too deep into Gnoll lands. It is in the ruins of the former city of Osberg. And he gets like a little toy dog and just puts it on the map in the place where it is currently. Osberg was primarily the center of the holdings of the late Marquis von Esden. He was said to have a relic called the Iron Star. It was, from what I can tell, a large warhammer. When he fell, defending the city against the gnolls, the relic was lost as well. The princess believes that it would be advantageous to acquire the relic, if not for the relic itself, but also because his son is the new Marquis von Esden. He is currently a refugee in Lothram's capital, in the royal court, and while he his family does not like Bosmar very much because we took much of the lands along with Trintham when they defected after the Northam started to be overrun after his father was killed. So he doesn't like us very much, and he's very opposed in the court to any sort of working with our forces, even along the border with the Nolands. But if we could recover his father's relic, we believe that might help sway him to our side, and if it doesn't, I guess you guys could use it as well. I don't do politics. What is more of interest to me is I have found some letters between some of the high elf wizards and the sort of surrogate high elf of House von Esden, Dahlia Dreamseeker, is speculated to have made some rather large arcane research facilities under the castle. I can't get any details onto what she was researching, but that might be quite interesting if you can find those as well.
Under the castle in the city?
In Austin.
In Austin.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Augsburg.
Augsburg.
Yes. Presumably directly beneath the castles, that was where they'd have most control. I haven't seen any records of her own wizard tower or anything. The castle was in the middle of the city. There might be. I don't know. It's only rumors and speculation. The High Elves are usually tight-lipped about such a thing.
That sounds promising.
The other opportunity, this was from Archbishop Hawthorne, asked me to bring this to your attention, as it is of grave importance to the church. So, on the border of the Rathwace and the Garen Woods, there's of course our front against the hobgoblins, but there's also, as you are aware, a front along the woods and Bosmar with the Nolands. Now, in more recent years, when the Rathwace has pushed to the Nolands, the gnolls in that area bordering the woods have not been very aggressive. A few raiding parties here and there, kidnapping, civilians and such, probably to eat them or whatnot, cattle, what have you. But no large military incursions, not like what they are doing along the rest of the northern border of Bosmar, and particularly in Lothram. Conjecture from the paladins has been that the gnolls are instead focusing their forces in that area on fighting the hobgoblins and pushing back the Rathwace. We have been very fortunate that they seem almost more intent on fighting each other than on us in that area, although the hobgoblins discriminate much less. However, in recent months, it seems this has changed, and Archbishop Hawthorne brought it to my attention that he has been receiving reports of raids from gnoll territory with creatures that resemble gnolls, but also have some hobgoblin features of some sort of fiery demonic power, we speculate. And the raids are being led by a very much hobgoblin commander. We believe that since there doesn't seem to be a large-scale truce between the two and any other part of the fronts that our scouts have found, they're still fighting very bitterly over the rest of the border, that this hobgoblin commander has found a way to corrupt and bend some of the gnolls to his will, and this has been quite a problem for our supply lines. Unfortunately, the Archbishop does not have many forces to spare in order to hunt down this, what he's calling a Houndmaster, and he would like to know if you are interested in doing so. It is quite close to Norest, something that you could probably accomplish before Rithmus's day, before you are officially part of the princess's retinue. However, I would like to sort of note that the princess, from mine and Archbishop Hawthorne's understanding of her mentality, she would probably rather you not go near those areas. It's very, very risky, very deadly. We would be sending you out as a strike force to hunt down what we know is a deadly force of enemies. So those are what I have been able to find. I've been also turning my attention after those two to any information I have of Ishvalia, of seeing if there's any evidence of demonic corruption there, but that is we do not have a lot of information. The Wood Elves who have come to Bosmar very keen on leaving their old ways behind and integrating themselves into the faith of the Trinity. So they are unfortunately rather tight-lipped about where they came from. So yeah, you've got 2 new quests in the quest log. The Houndmaster and the Runes of Osberg. So.
What?
Any other questions for the Archbishop?
Sounds pretty straightforward to me. I think the Houndmaster seems like the most doable, because the princess wanted to travel to Lothram once Aerith is sworn to her. Yes,
Aerith.
or sorry, other Eilina.
Who's Aerith? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I had a vision of some other world.
That's crazy. You're having visions too now?
I guess.
From my discussions with the princess when she asked me to look into this matter, she would much prefer that you secure the relic or any other leverage that you could for her negotiations with Lothram, which can certainly be done after you are officially a part of her retinue. I believe that it would take about 2.5 weeks to get to Osberg from here. There are roads along the northern front, but no quick river travel, and then once you get to the Knowlands, I don't know how long travel will take through there.
Yeah, all bets are off, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can hear you through Thurs, so.
Well, she's going up because the kids are yelling.
Okay, all right. It's not a game thing. Okay.
Yeah. Where is the calendar? Here we go. So you said 2 weeks to get there?
Probably like 2.5 weeks to get there and get back, maybe.
To get there and get back.
Yeah. So total of like 5 weeks.
1, 2, 3, 4. That would put us past Rhythmus's day.
Most likely.
Okay, so that's not within our striking range for now. But I think with the information that
he would note that it typically before Osberg fell would take you about 2 weeks to get there through road, but since the latter third of it is through the Knowlands, it's like ugh.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty safely out of our reach at this moment if we want to be here on Rhythmus's day. But definitely number 1 priority once we're past that. And then so this Houndmaster though is like literally right here.
Yes. On a horse, it's about a 2 days travel to Walden, and he has been attacking forces on the road to Walden. So, supply caravans and such.
Okay. Oh. Well, thank you for the information. I'd say, unless we have a better idea, this Houndmaster is probably the best use of our time at the moment.
Of course, happy to help. Let me know what you find. I'm interested what he has been doing to those gnolls. It would be if we understood that, maybe we could understand a bit more about not only the hobgoblins' strange powers, but also potentially what the gnolls do. Besides, eat people.
Oh yes, always besides eating.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Yes, let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me, but he sort of hands you some, a small scattering of notes, just basically enough to, you can look them up when you want to meta check the quest log if you would.
Okay, yeah. I put it in a little folder. Put it in my backpack.
Yeah, there's nothing else. Let me know if you need anything else, but otherwise, I will return to my research on Ishvalia.
All right. So I guess on our way out.
Wait a second. You're a widow. Phelan,
Oh
what do you
God.
know about Ishvalia?
Next to nothing.
Drat.
My parents were from there. I was born here.
Well,
On this side of the mountains.
I see. Oh, well, it's worth a shot. He just goes back to his papers.
Excellent. So, where's the river? Did I lose the river? Wasn't there a river?
There is a river on the Bosmar map.
Is that flag right by home?
No, the flag is where Norest is, which is right next to Walden.
Okay.
So here.
We've been to North, haven't we? We've been to.
You are in Norest.
Okay, so yeah, probably.
So you see, Norest is here and Walden is there.
Yeah, that's
10 feet away. So. I should probably also
we've been
add,
to Trenton, haven't we?
We passed through there, didn't we?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Trentham? Yes.
Yeah.
Trentham was the place with the gardens and where
Isn't that where we
Countess
got attacked in the
Montague-
streets?
by the basilisk, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And also of note is that the reason I need to update this map to put Osberg here, but like this whole like sort of section kind of east of the river used to be part of Lothram, but when the Count of Trentham saw that Lothram was not doing a good job of repelling the gnolls, they and a lot of their retinue sort of changed sides.
Okay. So we have a few places we can go as we wait for Alina to get sworn in.
Yeah, didn't you want to go to Walden anyway?
I wouldn't mind going to Walden. It might help illuminate some of my past, which I believe it is probably time we go about doing.
Hmm.
Not that I'm thrilled with the concept, but I'm learning more and more that I don't fully understand what's happening to me.
More knowledge is always good. Should we set out today? Tomorrow? How far is it exactly? You said 2 days on horseback, yeah?
Yeah.
There is literally no time like the present.
Right.
Fine by me.
Do we have any other appointments in the city? I don't think we do.
You have been invited to 2 dinners.
We could go to dinners.
But aren't those dinners at a indeterminate date?
They
They are-
mentioned them to you at a party. They have not followed up yet.
Well, how long do we think we're going to spend in Walden?
Statistically, about 2 days.
Yeah, there and back plus fighting would be a week. So you'd probably.
Yeah. So do you want to write letters to our respective people that invited us to dinner that will take them up on their offer in a week?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I guess we'll do that then.
Do you want to give them a set like we'll be back on the 30th, or like just a general?
Let's give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room and say we're going to be on the 31st. We're planning on being back by the 30th, but we'll plan the dinner for the 31st.
Okay.
Just in case.
Depending on any unseen
Yeah.
Complications.
All right. Okay. Were there any other things that you guys wanted to do in Norest before leaving? Any other shopping? Any other things you wanted to look into?
Yeah. Mara, can I ask a favor of you? If she's there.
Perth, you alive?
Maybe not.
Mero is currently sleeping back in the room and just refuses to get you. You try to
Okay,
shake.
sorry,
Oh,
I was I was doing stuff muted around the house. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
There's a friend that I need to speak with that has gone missing. I was wondering if you would be able to potentially hunt down a scent.
Uh, Dirt is very excited
Excellent.
and bounds up to you.
We need to track Serena, please. That's the.
What's she smell like?
That is a fantastic question.
You got a sample?
Can
A
we
lock of hair, perhaps?
can we go to her office? I will need to leave a letter for her anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
What are you
Oh, I
persuading?
can- Persuading the people at the
One of
door to let me
deacons.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think you have to persuade.
Am I? Why am I? What is happening?
I don't know what is happening. What are you looking
I have
at?
lost all of my attributes. Hold on. Try it this way. Very good.
Okay. Yeah. They're like, oh yes. Deacon shows you to her office and is like, yeah, if you need to leave something here for her, I can take it there myself if you need. But yeah,
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to leave it myself.
very good. They go there. They open the door. They don't leave you there alone in her office to like snoop around. They just wait at the door, just sort
Fair
of for
enough.
you.
I'm just gonna borrow. I'll write her a letter, basically telling us where we're going, and
Okay.
use some of her parchment. Can I do a basic ass look around and
Yeah.
see if I can see anything out of the ordinary?
Yeah. Perception check.
You know what? I don't know why I've lost all of my. There they are.
You look around. It's pretty Spartan. Like it's she's not a full priest. She's still just like a deacon. So it's not big, like it's not a big office. There's not a lot of personal effects or whatnot. There are some books that you would recognize as just like some very common religious tomes and such. Uh, is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Trying to see any sort of hint as to her like rushing out of here, or
Everything is tidy and in place. Nothing looks rushed or neat, or like she didn't have time to not put things away before she left. Like it does not look like she left things undone. It looks like she set her affairs in order and then left for
off she
whatever.
went. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dart, if you wouldn't mind grabbing a sniff.
Okay. Are we? Is this tracking supposed to happen now?
So I will note, if you're going to use the extended rest feature for tracking, you're also about to go and try to hunt down someone. So,
Okay.
it's,
Oh,
So
I
it
would.
is-
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend just a basic survival check instead of any
Okay.
big fancy form of tracking.
Did it go?
yeah, you sniff around. Dirt's met her before. This is definitely her office. Her smell is all around it. Her smell is all around the church. And then it sort of leaves the cathedral and disappears into the city, and just it's been about a week since she was here last, so it fades as soon as you get out into the open air, and it's just there's too much ever since around.
Okay. Well, it's not like I'm worried she was absolutely killed. So.
Yeah, and it also doesn't smell like she has been in the cathedral recently, like the scents are old, so. She's not
Okay.
hiding in the cathedral from you and just avoiding or anything. Dirt's pretty certain that she is gone.
Okay. Mara relays that. She's gone, girl.
That's fine. Try to catch up with her when we come back during Christmas Day.
Anything else?
I will also pay the head of whatever fancy hotel I decided to stay at for
Okay.
future rooms all the way to Christmas Day.
Okay.
Whatever that ends up being.
Think I said 2 gold per week or so. So
Okay.
that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 8 gold.
Oh no. Okay. Then I'm Gucci.
All right. Anybody else have city things they want to go through? No. Okay. So you guys, you are heading out of Norest. Are you taking the road directly to Walden, or are you trying to take paths that are like closer to the Knoll lands and the Wrathways? Because if you see on the map here, Walden is there, which is kind of acting as a hub for reinforcing the fronts, but it is far enough back from the fronts that there's still like takes 2 days to get there, and then however long to get to the surrounding areas. So you can just go, straight at the borders. You can go to Walden first, and then at the borders. Like, how are we doing this?
Where are we trying to go? Just to Walden?
Well, yeah, we're hunting the Knoll guy or the Hobgoblin man, and we're also looking for backstory for Phelan. So, I mean, I guess my plan would be to go to Walden first and see what the latest rumors are for where he's been attacking, and then also gather information for Phelan.
Exactly. That's pretty much where I landed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Let's just make timeline note here.
Why is my homework so low?
All right, so you guys go to Walden. You're provided horses. You have enough status and stuff where you can just ask for horses, and you're good. And then Marrow and Dirt can keep pace with the horses pretty easily. Alright, you arrive in Walden. At about 11. At 11. Yeah. It is
AM,
a
presumably.
Hmm?
AM, presumably.
AM. Yes, AM. As well. It is a small town, not necessarily a village in size. It is larger than Creek, but still probably smaller than the town around Pontem Castle. The sort of core of the town is what would presumably have been a village sort of clustered around the river's edge, with some like boats and fishing shacks along the river, but then some more sort of farms on the small farms on the outskirts, just carved away into clearings in the forest. But they're also sort of outside of that core. There are what look like buildings that were probably temporary at first, but have since been made to be permanent, that look a lot more military in purpose, with sort of soldiers' camps just stationed around there, and then like some larger tents and stuff for that are presumably warehouses for moving goods and stuff. Sort of a staging area just outside of what used to be a village, and the two combined now create a town. Phelan, are there any other details about Walden that you would like to share, elaborate on, point out to your group?
Not really. There's the church that Father Johann works at, and probably lives in. The pond where my powers came about. And that's really all I remember, or know to, or care to remember.
But yeah, you guys arrive in Walden. What are we doing? Where are we going?
Well, welcome home. So we need to do a few things. We will need to talk with the soldier half of the population to get an understanding of what's happening with the, what is he called, the Houndmaster? And then we will need to speak with, or I would like to speak with a few people from my past. Father Johann, my parents. Gary's parents should probably be a good idea. Is there anything any of you would like to do first, or as well?
Well, I'm supporting you in your endeavor.
Yep, I mean, we can go and talk to the soldier people as kind of soldierly people ourselves, but other than that, I think this is the Phelan show.
Delightful. All right, well, let's go and speak with Father Johann.
Okay. So the church in the town, it is just a single church, but it is not. It is much bigger than it should be given the civilian size of the town. But it is still just one. They don't have three separate churches for it. Phelan, you would know that this is because this is the sort of headquarters of the outreach program that the Church of the Trinity runs, sending sort of priests throughout the Garen Woods to educate and sort of like bring Aventicum culture to any who are willing to hear it. It is not necessarily a full-on missionary system. The Church of the Trinity is not a sort of evangelical religion. They are not desperately trying to get people to convert to their faith. The outreach program is kind of middlingly unpopular because of that. It is mainly seen here as a charity effort to any residents of the Garen Woods, especially refugees from Ishvalia, who are interested and ask to have themselves or their children educated in the ways of Aventicum are able to do so. So it is something that people need to like have asked to be done to them. That being said, culturally, especially in Walden and in many Wood Elf villages, especially that are close to Bossmar, it's kind of expected that you send your kids to one of these, just culturally. It's something that is more of a native population has decided to do. The ones who are not as much into that are deeper into the woods, or even settled around Garandun, the dwarven fortress.
Got it.
Yeah, there are sort of deacons who you recognize. You haven't been gone for very long. There hasn't really been a lot of turnover. They sort of see you and it's like, Peren, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's good to see you again. It's been a few years. We were worried about you. I've not heard anything. Oh,
I did take off rather suddenly, and I do apologize.
yes, no good. How is Serena?
I haven't seen her for a few weeks, but last I saw she was healthy.
Good. I assume that Gary is causing trouble as usual.
I haven't seen him for many more weeks, but last I saw him, he was mid-trouble. Yeah.
But you did see him though. He followed after you. We were worried about him. Serena, good head on her shoulders. Gary, not so much.
No, he remained his old ways.
This is a shame. It's a shame. Well, at least they're good. For now, healthy. And you are looking good. You are here with knights, with nobles. Is there anything we can do for you?
I was hoping to speak with Johann, if I may.
Yeah. We can. Think he is in the middle of a lesson right now, but if you wait for a half an hour, he should be free.
I will do just that. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. So they sort of bring you to. There's like a library thing with a bunch of tables that sort of serves as the waiting room, and they just sit you down there. They do not have nearly as many like drinks and refreshments and sandwiches as you have been enjoying every time you visit the cathedral. Just comfy chairs and such.
I will specifically apologize for the more meager accommodations than what we're used to.
Who are you apologizing to?
You all? We're used to much bigger accommodations. This is more small town.
Oh no.
Eilina will just raise her eyebrow at you, like, okay, we're soldiers.
Oh, it is. I was thinking it was kind of rustic, but
I come from much smaller means than it seems the rest of us do.
It has been my experience that those with less tend to have more to give. More meaningful things to give. Do not apologize to me. I am honored that you brought us here in the first place.
Well, I appreciate you coming along.
As you guys sort of have this discussion, about 25 minutes later, a priest walks in and looks very excited to see Phelan. Would you like to describe Father Johann for the group?
Yeah, for sure. So Father Johann is maybe 5'10". Got like thinning reddish hair, like not ginger hair, but like russet, I guess. Spectacles, maybe 50s. Beard and no mustache, and wears just the most basic, boring clothes. Other than that, he looks friendly and a little thin.
Phelan. Oh, it's good to see you, my boy. Good to see you. And he just walks up and just gives you a big hug.
You too, Father Johann. I was wondering if there might be a place we could talk. There's a lot to catch up on, and I have several questions.
No. Would here not suffice? Not sure my sort of quarters are big enough to accommodate. I assume these are all your friends. Hello, Father Johann. He just reaches out and gives everybody a handshake in turn.
This should suffice. I don't. It's not as though I distrust anyone. There are a few questions I have about what happened surrounding me leaving that I was hoping you could help clear up.
Well, yeah. more than happy to help you. I will admit your letter had me a bit worried.
Your response had me a bit confused. If I may,
Sorry
I would,
about that, my boy. Did you get checked by a priest, as I recommended?
I did not. There was no time, frankly. So correct me if
By
well,
myself, I'm more of an educator, so it's a bit troubling. I can call somebody for you if
that's
you'd
all
like.
right. We have healing magic among us.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so when I left, by my reckoning, I left alone. When I met up with Serena, I admit I have no memory of her. She did not leave with me, to my knowledge.
Father Johann just like sighs and looks very sad. Actually, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Come on. This game is not playing. Great.
He looks around at the others and he's like, "Which one of you is the healer?"
Guess everybody looks at Galahadrin,
Yeah, everybody just looked at God.
who is not yet back.
Oh, he's all right. Well, if have you really been able to look at the boy? Is he okay? Is he all right in the head? He hasn't been injured or anything?
He's been very valiant, and is the great model of fighting fit.
I mean, he's not a fighter by any means. Peren, have you been getting into fights?
A few,
Why?
unfortunately. Yes.
Shame on you.
Adventuring will do that to you.
That is my fault, Father. I have pulled Peren into my services as one of my retainers. And my line of work has led us into some stickier scenarios. And
You're part of a warband?
I am part of a knight's retinue. Yes.
My. It's quite shocking. I would have expected that from you.
Life
More
has
of the
taken some
quiet,
interesting turns,
philosophical
Father.
type. Not sure why they're. Yeah, he just seems very perplexed and like put off by that. He's like, oh.
So, forgive me. Let us assume then that something did happen to me. Would
Yes.
you remind me of my history with this woman?
But grew up together, been friends since you were kids. You went to school together and such. Would constantly have debates on the nature of the Trinity and divinity and your potential role in. This is very weird. You're asking me to describe your best friend to you.
Forgive me, Again, perhaps my memories have been altered. I believed Gary was my best friend.
Though the three of you were thick as thieves, but I mean, be quite honest, Gary wasn't necessarily the best conversationalist, but no, you and Serena, as far as I would know, would spend hours discussing the nature of the various aspects and teachings of the Trinity and such. It was
All right. Then perhaps I should see a priest. So I left. Did Serena leave with me, or did she follow me?
yes, no, the two of you, for whatever reason, felt that you were being called to go somewhere. You didn't necessarily give us a reason. You just said goodbye and that you needed to and left.
And Gary followed soon after?
About a year or two afterwards, yes.
Did anybody come looking for us?
Why, you told us that you were leaving. There was no reason to sort of chase after you. We were worried, but we It's not our place. You were adults. You make your own choices and such.
Fair enough. I understand that this all must be concerning, to say the
Very.
least. It's just that there has been quite a lot going on, and
Mm,
the idea that I may have forgotten my best friend has me a little rattled.
yes, no, I can see that these are strange times. I've seen many of my colleagues fall to some strange madness. He sort of starts talking and then clams up because he realizes he shouldn't be talking about that.
That Oh God, do I remember the name of that madness? What was the Carrick madness that we've been dealing with? Who remembers?
I just called it the ick.
Yeah, I don't think that we had a specific name for it. It was just, um,
I think the closest you heard was a Caresian heresy.
yeah. I mean, we have. Oh, what was it? What was the name? That which will not be contained.
We had heard stories. I understand that you may have said more than you intended, but we had heard stories of that. Has that been happening here as well?
All throughout the outreach program, for whatever reason, they're being far more.
Just the outreach program?
Just in the woods, they've been pulling back. He sort of looks at you like you got a bit out of him because he trusts you, but now he looks at you a bit. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check as he sort of decides, like, what is this little snot-nosed brat asking me about heresy for?
Why won't this boy leave me alone?
No, it's not. It's not bad. It's just like why,
Ah,
you know.
Jesus.
He's like, Peren, these are something. Those are church matters, not even if you are a knight's retinue. That is, this is something for the church to be concerned with, not the middle.
I can understand that, but we're seeking Serena, who is, from what I've been given to understand, the right hand of the Archbishop in Norris
What?
for Carrick,
No, for Felmar.
for Felmar, or the for Felmar. Like, I understand that this is a different church, but it seems pertinent.
Really? She made that much of a. I haven't heard a thing.
It would seem that the three of us have truly been up to thing since we left. There's quite a bit to update you on, I would assume.
That's quite impressive. She joined the clergy. That's expected of that. She was very much interested in the ways and the nature of the Trinity and the faith. You joined a warband. Can't
Retinue.
always call us. I will say in this culture, warband and retinue are like very, very similar.
Sure, in his mind, there is a distinct difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Retinue. Sorry, of a noble house.
On that, I'm just going to look to Elena.
I mean, technically we're not supposed to be telling people, but this is someone. I'm not sworn in yet, but this is someone that matters to you. If you want to puff up a little bit, my dude, I'm
Okay.
saying.
That sounds.
I genuinely don't know if I know that you are of a noble house. I know
Well,
that Abel
technically,
is,
you're the retinue
No,
to
I'm-
a royal,
or was.
royal knight.
Yeah. Well, that we're not going to say because you're not a royal knight yet.
Not yet, but soon. Technically, well, I'm not a noble anymore, as well.
Are any of us nobles anymore?
No. Well,
No.
Galahadrin is
True.
the Prince of Summer.
That's- I mean, yeah.
Technically, yes, but
As we go looking, it would seem that as I catch back up with my two friends, they were involved in an organization that may or may not mean anything to you. God, maybe it doesn't mean anything to me. What was it called?
Genesis?
Thank you. Does Genesis mean anything to you, Father?
Of as just a word or an
No, as
organization?
an organization.
Can't say I've heard of anything like that.
It seems that they
Uh,
have both gotten mixed up with them, but somehow I avoided them.
That's troubling. Thought you said that Serena was working for the Church of Felmar.
She does. It seems as though she had a moment in between.
I will say I'm slightly disappointed. I'd always hoped that she would join the Church of Carrick if she did, but you always seemed like more of a Felmar mentality to me, but, you know, I'm sure that you both changed on the road.
Falmar's creation, right?
Yeah, the Maker, yeah.
The Maker has always called to me a little harder. Yes.
Yes. What happened that she joined the church and you joined a retinue?
To be blunt and honest, I don't remember her. I certainly don't remember
Oh,
what
yes.
happened between us.
Oh, that's going to take some getting used to.
Do we have anyone here that may be able to help jog my memory? Or do you think that would be better done in the city?
I mean, if what I've said hasn't jogged your memory, I'm not sure. Could speak to your parents. Unfortunately, oh, you probably, if you don't recall Serena, her parents have long passed away. Uh, My boy, I don't know what to tell you. I am concerned for your mental well-being. I don't.
That makes two of us.
Sir, I didn't get your name. I'm sorry. And he looks at Lena.
uh,
Actually, no. He look at Abel.
rude.
Abel is definitely dressed the fanciest.
Yeah. Well, didn't Phelan buy fancy clothes?
I am wearing very fancy clothes, but I am not a lord.
There is a difference between
He knows I'm not
new
a
money
lord.
fancy clothes and
And old money fancy clothes?
and old
Yeah.
money fancy clothes.
Oh, I
yeah.
am very definitely peacock.
And also
Yeah.
Galahadron's clothes, which used to be fancy, but are, have been traveled in for a while. So,
Yeah, and are also now turning to autumn.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep looking at it. I guess he makes eye contact with me.
And
I look behind me. Oh.
Peren, you should introduce your colleagues to me.
Gladly. This would be Abel.
Sorry.
Give him a little wave.
Of what you seem to be dressed with nobility. Of what house? Probably won't know it, but I'm heard that's the polite thing to
That's
ask.
the thing to ask.
No house, not anymore.
Oh. Again, I know almost nothing of this stuff.
The knight would actually be Sir Alina.
Ah, apologies.
No worries.
Sir Alina of...
My name is Alina Katala. I have no house.
Right. Gives you another look that is just like, and you got mad at me for saying warband. He doesn't say it out loud, but you can read his face. You know this guy.
Yeah. A flat stare back. Like, yeah I did.
And then looks at Galahadron and this strapping young lad.
This would be Galahadron. He is the Prince of the Summer Court. I don't believe he has a last name.
I have no idea what that means.
No, I don't. Actually, I'm not going to make that statement for Tika. I don't know if Galahadron has a last name.
If he does, Phelan does not remember it.
He does not.
Okay, I didn't think he does. No, we don't have last names in the Feywild.
Okay. And that's the healer?
Yes. Are you
He's a
That's the
surprised?
paladin.
healer
Yes.
who checked out your brain?
His brain?
I'm going to go and get someone. He just stands up. Just wait. He goes off.
Phelan, is
finds
something wrong with your brain?
You know what? It would seem that way.
But you
Yes.
cast all that magic.
I.
What? He comes back and is like,
This poor guy.
Excuse me?
"What do you mean? What do you mean magic? Are you failing? Have you received the blessing of the Trinity? Are you?
I'm actually not sure.
Why are you
But-
part of a warband? If you have the blessing
I'm
of the
not a
Trinity,
warband. It's
why?
a
If you have the
warband.
blessing of the Trinity and you're part of a retinue, why are you not the healer?
I did not get blessing. I simply began casting. Fear of what I. Oh, this is going to get a bit deeper than I intended to on our first meeting back, Father. I do not understand where my power came from. I am
But-
simply able
it's-
to use it.
But it's not a blessing of the Trinity.
I am not a cleric.
You're a wizard, Peren?
That is the closest any of us can assume, though from what little I do know of wizardry, it doesn't match up.
I'm fetching someone to look at your brain. He just
That sounds
goes off
great.
again.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah, so he actually does leave the room. If you guys want to discuss things.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, so
A lot.
that would be Father Johann. He was not strictly my father. He was sort of a surrogate. He's a delightful man.
He seems like it. Once again, I do feel a little bad for him.
I
You're putting a
do
lot on
now.
this man.
I do now realize that I brought a very large world to a very small town. They're soldiers. They should have been doing that beforehand.
I mean, the outreach program is not really interested in the military half of the town. Like, they have their own chaplains and stuff.
Then I have nothing for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes back, with another priest, and just like, yes, no, if you can just, I'm not a healer, I am a teacher, can you make sure if his head is okay? Is that, and the priest just sort of rolls his eyes and is like, yes, Father Johann, I can see how his head is. Give me a second here.
I'll allow this to happen.
Yeah, just like places his hands over your heads, casts, a healing spell on you if there's nothing to heal. There appears to be nothing wrong with him, Father Johann. Do I need? None of them appear to be injured. I can check the others if you'd like. He's like, no, thank you, Father Gray. Yes, tea next set day. And he's like, yes, tea next set day. We'll see you then. Just walks back off. Father Johann just sits down in a chair and kind of slumps a bit. It's like, oh, Peren. Oh, Peren.
It has been an eventful few years.
It sounds like it.
And I will bring out little Gus.
Oh,
bird in your
poor
pocket.
man.
Yes.
His eyes were closed as he was like massaging his temple. He opens his eyes and there's like this bird sitting on the table now, and he's like,
So this is going to be an interesting thing to tell you.
hmm?
I made this bird.
Isn't that something wizards? I don't understand wizards.
Neither do I.
I'm sure this is.
But I didn't summon this bird. I built this bird and gave it life myself.
Go ahead, roll persuasion or arcana, your choice.
Kana is almost certainly better. Yeah. Jesus.
Can I assist in any way? Can I be like,
Do you understand magic?
well, yeah, well, no, but I was hoping, I don't know. My brain heard persuasion. I was like, yeah,
Can
I'd like lure
Galahadran
people into it.
assist?
Does Galahadran understand magic? Galahadran
Galahadran
is
has
magic.
magic.
I don't think Galahadran. Well, he understands Fey magic and stuff because it's very rules and things you should and should not do. But like being able to explain the difference between being able to explain to a teaching priest in the woods the subtle differences between summoning a familiar and creating a bird. Like he understands that this is something that wizards do, and you're trying to explain to him why it's not what wizards do.
Why it's not what wizards do. Yeah, fair enough.
It's...
From
like,
what
"Yeah,
I know of wizards, which, granted, even now is still remarkably little, they simply summon, not create.
well, I assume you haven't had the time to go to an apprenticeship or an academy in the past 3 years. This is still very impressive, and I don't want to knock your achievements. This is very impressive, and I wasn't aware you were able to do any magic whatsoever before leaving here, so
I
being
wasn't.
accomplished enough to be hired by a retinue for a knight of some noble house. Are you part of a noble house? I don't know. I don't care. But it's still just very, very impressive for you to do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to. I don't have the training in the arcane to understand what the distinction is, but I'm sure that that's impressive. Good. I'm very happy for you. You. This is a wonderful accomplishment.
I appreciate it. All of this to say that I am not entirely sure what is happening around me
That makes
or
two of
to
us.
me and my friend. My friends being the ones that came from Walden.
Okay, so Serena and Gary,
Correct.
who are,
I
as
saw
far as you know,
Gary.
doing fine.
Um,
Is Gary a wizard?
last I saw them,
Please don't tell me Gary's a wizard.
Gary appears to be sticking to his sneaky ways.
Disappointing, but not unexpected.
That was more or less my reaction. I don't know what is happening with the three of us. While I try to figure it out, I thought to come back to where we are apparently all from, and I will track it from here. I just wanted to let you know that after I took off, without telling anyone anything, 3 years ago, why I took off, and maybe get a little understanding as to who Serena is, though I feel I know less than I started.
I mean, you and Serena both came to me and told me that you were leaving.
I have no memory of that either.
Oof. We had dinner. It was lovely. It's nice venison steak. Your mother cooked it for us.
So I told my parents where I was going as well.
I mean, kind of be a bit of an asshole to not, Peren. I mean, they raised you better than that.
To borrow your word, I thought I was being an asshole. I've
I mean,
lived 3 years with regret on it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
This is all very fascinating. And more than a little concerning.
It's fine. I am very concerned, but apparently your bed is not injured according to Father Gray, so...
Thank God for small blessings.
I think the Trinity. I'm sorry for the rest of you, and I must seem like such a terrible guest here, but I'm very concerned for this boy who I saw grow up and sort of not helped raised, totally. He did have parents and such, but still, it's, thank you for looking after him, for giving him gainful employment, I hope. Please keep him safe and out of trouble as best you can. there's anything I can do for any of you to assist with that, just please let me know. I care for this boy very deeply.
As do we, Father.
Good.
I assume my parents still live where they lived when I left.
Yes, yep. They haven't
Um,
moved. There's no reason to.
a few final things.
Yep.
Based on your opinion, which is, it would seem less altered than mine. How much of this do you think I should tell them?
That's it's always the ethical question, isn't it? How good spirited are white lies when you don't want to worry someone overmuch with the truth when there's not much they can do about it. I told them that you had sent me a letter and that you were doing fine, so they are less worried about you than they had been for a few years. So they'd be happy to see you, of course. Judging by my own reaction, I don't think they would feel good about knowing that you forgot about Serena and your mother's wonderful dinner. It was a side of mashed potatoes, by the way. She's definitely going to ask you about that. So just
Love
please,
the mashed potatoes.
please, yes, no, they're great. Uh, that is a question you need to ask yourself, Peren. That's
Very well.
yes. I'm sorry, but I can't give much more guidance than that. But as long as your heart is in the right place, whatever you wish to tell them, I'm sure the Trinity will forgive any trespasses that may result from that, as long as you're doing it for their mental well-being.
I hope so. A few final things. I will remain in contact with you. Disappearing
Please.
for 3 years was not the best
They've,
course of action.
they've tried to transfer me away, but I refuse. This is my mission, given to me by Carrick, to help nurture the young people of this village in the ways of the Trinity, and I'm not going anywhere. I have to. The gnolls will have to drive me out themselves.
Well, another stop here is to make sure that doesn't happen. That said,
Oh, you're here on business.
we are. That said, do you have the plate handy, or can I trust a donation with you?
Yeah, if you would like to give a donation, I can put it in the collections tin.
Absolutely. If you would be so kind. Here is 10 gold, 59 silver, and 59 copper.
Well, you are paying him very well, and he looks over at Alina as he says this. It's like, you're doing very well for yourself, I see. Yeah, he takes that, and it's more than he thought, and he looks self-conscious about putting it in his pocket, but he doesn't have any place better to put it.
I don't know what to do with this.
So,
Perfect.
I am going to put this in a safe place immediately. It was very lovely meeting you all. Peren, if you wish to talk any more, if you wish further help, just please let me know. I'm always happy to help you, my boy.
I'll stay in touch. I will see you again before we leave.
I hope so. And he goes in, gives you another hug, and then scuttles off.
All right. Well, we should leave.
I want to know more about what he knows about the disease, the ick.
I don't think we're going to get that yet.
Here. Me.
I'm going to fall back on one of the two people with martial training to speak with soldiers.
My lady, you're the
Let's
leader of this
go.
little war band.
Oh.
Retinue.
I will lead our warband
Oh, for the love.
to the
So I should, just for a cultural distinction, just so that you know why I'm using certain terms and stuff, because I thought it was a bit more self-evident, but I am wrong. Retinue can be any group that is hired by a noble. It can include scribes and priests and just whoever is officially in the employ of the like the entourage of a noble, so to speak.
Sure.
So retinue does fit for if you have a knight and they have people on them, the retinue. A warband is more specific. A warband doesn't need to be led by nobility and a knight. It is mainly just a special forces team, so to speak. Usually has a knight because those are usually very good soldiers and stuff. But they are units that the noble houses, or particularly royal houses, or marquee houses, like House Whitewater would have never had a warband. They just didn't have enough. Even if they had a good knight and been some soldiers around them, it's not good enough to be considered a warband. It is the more elite term. If you hear warband, it's definitely more like this is a crack unit of stuff. The Iron Wolves are famous warbands from Xeris that get hired out to different countries to go and strike force and get hired as mercenaries and such.
So we are a warband.
You are very much a warband, yes.
Okay, my question: would a small town bumpkin, uneducated elf who is trying to primp and preem know the difference?
Oh no,
Or would
Alina,
retinue sound cooler, sound more official to him, and so that's
retinue
what he
would
cares
definitely
about?
sound. And nothing that you have said is wrong. I just realized that the players might not
Got it.
understand
Okay.
the difference in what I'm using. So yeah, you are definitely a warband. The princess even used the term to refer to you guys as this is your retinue. Your retinue will be a warband. So
Got it.
I think honestly,
I'm gonna keep fighting for warband or
Yeah,
for retinue.
yeah,
But
honestly, even without an official sponsorship of a noble house or whatnot, you guys kicked the ass of another warband that was hired by the Royal Guards. You guys would qualify as a warband if you went to another country and didn't pledge yourself to the royal family. That is just
we
you
still could.
guys kick enough ass that you can do that.
We still could. We could upend his entire campaign and go somewhere else.
You just leave fully.
I mean, the whole campaign was written with the assumption that you might do that, so
Let's
I
get on
love
a
that.
wouldn't
boat and
upend anything.
let's get on a boat and leave the desert.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Get on a boat and leave the desert?
It's referencing another campaign that
A very old
Al
campaign.
and I were
Okay.
in, where
Alright.
we were young and stupid, and the DM pitched us, "Hey, I want to run a campaign in a desert. Let's play."
And we're like, yeah, okay.
And the first
And we
thing
played
did,
one game, and we're like, ooh.
the desert
He
sucks.
ma-
Let's leave.
He
Yep.
made us roll for water, and we're like, we're out of this.
I did that for the first D&D campaign I played in. Is the DM, she had set up this whole Civil War thing, and we did stuff where we rescued the princess from her evil brother, and then there was another enemy nation was going to come out, and the rest of us just was like, man, we don't like any of the people who have been involved in any of this shit. We're just going to sail across the ocean, just go to a different continent. It's kind of just tailed off from there. But yeah, so yeah, you guys are a warband. Where would you guys like to go next?
We should speak to soldiers.
We're
Figure
gonna
out what's
speak to the
happening.
soldier.
All right. All right. So yeah, you go to the soldier camp. You are recognized as you are not recognized for yourselves, but you are recognized as people dressed up for military stuff and from Bosmar, and so the guards on the outskirts hey, what's your business?
My name is Sir Alina Katala, and I would like to speak to the what is the word I'm looking for?
Commanding
Captain?
officer.
Commanding officer of the garrison.
I believe Sir Avira oh wait, what is this? Did I do this right? What is
This is all still in
is
character, I
this?
hope.
Yeah. Yes, Sir Avira Dianthus is currently in charge of the garrison, while Sir Yar is off on the front. And bring you to them right away. You would know they just named the two royal knights that are not in Norest, who are stationed on the front.
Hit me with those names again.
Yeah, sure. Let me just give me a second.
Is this the Nepo baby?
Ow.
Or the other
No,
Nepo
the Nepo
baby?
baby was one of the ones that you kicked their butts. This is the elf and the half orc.
The really hot, the really hot lady.
Yeah, the one that Al was like, I have that armor set.
Ah, yes. I do have that armor set.
Oh, so not the really hot lady. She's a Goliath.
Yeah, no, she's back at she's back in Norest. So, and you probably, the ones who are back in Norest were the Barcroft family.
Nepo babies.
Yeah, again, that's nobility.
I know,
Like you are a Nepo baby. Galahadrin is the
bugs
biggest
you.
Nepo baby in existence. Galahadrin is the platonic concept of a Nepo baby.
But listen to how you're reacting to the term Nepo baby, and I will just continue to use it.
Okay, you're just wrong. So, well, you're not wrong. You're just wrong. But yeah, so Sir Dianthus, there you're sort of led into a command center that was probably at some point a tent, but has been shorn up with like actual, wooden beams and construction and such. They're poring over a map, and they sort of look up, and they would recognize him. It's like, Alina Katala. I'm surprised seeing you here. Have you been yet?
pleasure.
I thought that wasn't until Rhythmus Day.
It is not. But we had a little time to waste, or not waste in this circumstance, but we had a little time.
Place to take a vacation, but all right. Are you here on orders? Did the princess send you?
No. We are on a little bit of personal business and a little bit of church. Technically, we also asked the princess to do it, so it's kind of I'm not saying this in character. I'm literally trying to think of.
Yeah.
I mean, the bishop did ask us to do it.
That is true. We are on church business.
Church business. Interesting. What can I do for you? The paladins are currently on the front lines.
I'm gonna look at Abel. I'm not built for this. I'm not built to be
Okay.
our leader.
Our objective is to hunt down the Houndmaster. I understand that he's been harassing supply caravans and has managed to somehow create an unholy amalgamation of Hobgoblin and Gnoll.
And the princess is fine with sending her new recruit that she wants to help with Lothram to go after someone who has been attacking convoys. You did get the princess's permission to come here, right?
The princess was informed and did not
She
step
was
up
not.
to stop.
Do you
Did
want
you
to make
not
a deception
tell the?
check?
Did you
None
not
of you
tell the
said
princess
that we
were
tell
leaving?
the princess where we're going.
It is not my responsibility to tell the princess where we were going.
It is Alina's.
It's your responsibility to remind your knight to do her
Unbelievable.
fucking job.
Especially since the Archbishop would very explicitly said the princess would not be happy with you doing this.
And I wasn't paying attention earlier, so
Do
Do you want to make a retroactive check?
It's too late now. I have paid very little attention to this session. I was letting Phelan do his thing.
I mean, I feel like
And
Alina would pay more attention.
I stabbed myself like 80 times. It's fine.
Alina's paying attention.
You might as well make a retroactive check. Even
Yeah.
if you fail, we're still fucking out here.
Yeah, what check would you like to make to see if Alina would have known that she should probably check? And again, you could also have decided not to do it because you wanted to avoid that conversation. Like, that is totally... Not telling her is a legitimate choice to make for whatever reasons. But if you would like to make a check,
Well, here's the thing. What do we know about them? Would they love a little wild spirit to go off and do this?
she has been very hesitant whenever you guys have asked about doing things in the Wrathwaste.
No, what do we know about the knight we are currently talking to?
Oh, the knight you're currently talking to? Alina is not that familiar with them. You can go ahead and roll an insight check, Alina, to see what
I would love
have heard
to.
about them in passing and such.
My buttons are gone.
Yes. My
It's
buttons.
because we're on the big map, and technically here on the big map we are the team.
Oh,
and the
drag your
team
token out.
Yeah, drag your token out.
Yeah, you drag your token out.
He has. It's at the top.
Right there.
Fucking sass me. What am I rolling again?
It's what insight to see what you know of Sir Dianthus.
Medium.
Yeah, medium. You know that she is. You have heard that she pays lip service to the faith of the Trinity. Mainly, what she is more concerned about is using Bosmar to protect her people. She was young when Ishvalia fell, but she was born in Ishvalia. She sort of proved herself as a very accomplished archer and ranger and such in the woods. She proved herself in Norest and has an agreement with the sister with the princess, where she is the princess's representative on the front against the hobgoblins, the gnolls, and such. That she is very rarely in Norest. She is very much focused on here, so you do not know much of her, but you have seen her when she returns for, leave and visits and official functions and such.
So
Retroactively, I probably, knowing Alina, because Aerith would not have. Aerith would have just skipped town and had a great time.
Mhm.
Alina would have sent a message and then ran.
Would have sent a message and ran.
Well, no, she would have told the princess that they
Okay.
were going to wherever we are. Walden. I almost said Walton, like the Waltons.
Just
Walden.
a Walden, or would you have filled her in on the whole Houndmaster thing?
If you say just Walden, we can say that we got swept up in this.
But not if another royal knight is here.
Well, I probably would have changed my opening statement depending on what we told the princess.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
I mean, so my strategy would basically be like appeal to the princess and be like, look, we feel
The princess or the knight?
the princess. Like,
Got it.
right, we feel kind of useless just sitting in Norest for several weeks. There's a problem that needs solving right there. Let us go and take care of it. We're not going to go into the Wrath Wastes, right? We're going to hang in the Garen Woods, maybe a little bit into the Knoll Lands. In and out.
Okay.
10-day adventure.
So she cannot stop you. Like, literally, if you want to do this, you are free to do it. There is nothing in your guys' arrangement where you are not officially in her employ yet. She cannot really give you orders. So you're in a bit of a gray area because you asked for more authority beforehand. But she cannot, force guards to keep you on premises and stuff. So go ahead and make a persuasion check. You guys are definitely helping each other, so you get advantage. Was there something else you want to add, Alina?
You want me to make it?
Yes, please.
Okay. She is not happy about it, but she understands it's like this is something that the church asked of you for help. she knows that there is not a lot of forces to spare to deal with this sudden problem on the border. She knows that it needs to be done. She is hesitant that you guys should risk yourselves doing so, but especially after you trounced the other warband, she is, that performance has sort of made her a lot more confident in your abilities. So she does not raise a fuss over it. She does ask you a few times, it's like, are you sure that this is something you really want to do? You were able to persuade her, and she's like, okay, go and do it. You're not there with official royal capacity. You're there, if anything, from the church, but just be safe and be back by Christmas Day.
And I would explain that to the knight.
She's like, well, if Princess is not necessarily give her blessing, but if she didn't forbid you from doing it, welcome to the front. Yeah, I'm not opposed to whatever help. If you want to hunt down this Houndmaster, feel free. I have so many other irons in the fire currently that I would not mind if that one was taken off my plate. What would you need from me?
Intel.
Yes. Anything you have on where these attacks have happened, if you have a guess at patterns, if you've been able to track them. I mean, ideally a base of operations, but anything that you know that could lead us to them would be what we need.
We do not have any idea where their base of operations is. They tend to be a quick strike. They will descend upon a convoy or a caravan. They will hit it, usually burn it, and then leave. Very few survivors, but the ones who we have been able to recover have confirmed that it is gnolls, but with fire, which is not something gnolls currently do, or typically do, and then leading them from the back astride a rather large canine with, she sort of pulls her reports, a whip that looks like a spine but made of metal. Is a hobgoblin who we have named the Houndmaster. They strike quickly, and then they fade back into the gnoll lands, and as we do not wish to agitate the gnolls, as they have typically left that stretch of border minimally harassed, we have not seen fit to send a counterparty in there to try and root them out. It's a bit of a sticky situation. We have unfortunately grown a bit too complacent and only been giving light guards to convoys in that area and focusing most of our attention on the actual border with the Wrathways. So, but I will say, if you just go with a wagon and make yourself look like an easy target, I'm pretty sure they would find you.
The worst idea.
Um,
Probably not the best.
Well, we need to know how they pick their targets. It's just, have you been able to discern any pattern to when and where they attack?
Hard to find a pattern when it's limited to only most of them.
Okay,
They look through some reports and it's like, the only time where convoys have not been attacked is when another one has been attacked at a different part of the woods. And since these have started, we have been forced to divert our convoys to stick closer to the mountains and further away from the gnoll lands, which has slowed the flow of supplies to the front, unfortunately.
Okay.
I was going to say, this is in the past month. This has been occurring. It is a very recent development. Go ahead. Anybody who wants to make an insight check.
I'm always down for an insight check.
Uh, she's pretty much forthcoming. Like, it doesn't look like she's trying to be duplicitous or like, anything like that. She's giving you what she has. Phelan, Abel, you notice as she's sort of going over that, she starts to say something else, and then just sort of like stops and doesn't, whatever she was about to add, she was just like, no, shouldn't say that, and then stopped.
Ease.
I guess. So it sounds like it's okay. So they're I'm thinking about this in my head. So they're attacking every convoy that they can get at, unless there's two convoys at the same time.
It's basically she was making a joke about how the only reason they didn't attack one was they were busy attacking another.
Right.
So.
Do you have? I'm just gonna ask you. Do you have a list of all of the convoys over the past month and which ones have been attacked?
Yes. Yeah. Sort of pull something up. Sort of hands it over.
So I'm gonna look through it and I'm gonna try and discern. Is there anything tying together the ones? I guess. Well, first off, is it most of them that have been attacked? Like.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll investigation.
Okay.
Can I help at all? Never mind.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yes, I'm basically just gonna get my commissar brain in here. Just be like, okay, so has it actually been most of the caravans that have been attacked, or is that an exaggeration?
So
First of all,
it is not all the ones on the list, but all the ones that are like that were going near that border. It looks like there are, even though Walden is used as a hub, there were some times where they would send a shipment directly from Norest and like north along, like closer to that border, and it's those that are primarily being attacked.
okay.
It is the majority of them. There doesn't seem to be any information that would they're not going after specifically food. They're not just going after specifically troops. They're just hitting whatever they are. And an increase in the guard presence did not seem to mitigate any of the attacks. They are hitting whatever they find, is what it seems.
Okay. Is there anything that is in common of the caravans that weren't attacked?
They were not near the border, so just geographic. And it looks like when they, in trying to reinforce the lines quicker, they started doubling up and sending more frequent ones. And the rate of attack seemed to be still hey, they have enough energy to attack once a day, so if there's two caravans going through, one of them usually gets by unattacked.
Okay.
It really does seem like there is a force, a singular force, that is doing their best to just hit anything that comes within their range.
Okay. I'd like to plot on, I assume they have a map, where each of the caravans was hit.
Okay.
And basically try and do a triangulation of the places on the road where the attacks are more frequent are probably closer to where their base is. And then, or actually, we can do, and we can also do a timeline comparison. If they attack, I assume that where they attack generally follows a line. They don't attack on one end of the supply lines one day and then on the other end the next day.
Oh yeah. The attacks get more frequent or consistent the closer it gets to the border, and the attacks only really seem to happen in this
Mhm.
region. Like they're not striking deeper into the forest on the Rathway side. They're coming from Knoll lands, and they're hitting
Mhm.
along the convoy, and they're more likely to be hit when they're closer to
Okay.
the front lines. So he's probably not near the northwest border. He is probably operating more in like the Knoll side
Yeah.
of this little like tri-state area sort
Yeah,
of thing.
so like it's like right around this circle here.
Yeah.
Okay, well I think if I get us closer, then we should be able to let Marrow do the rest. Do they have there been caravans where they were able to recover bodies of the attackers that we could potentially use to get a scent for Marrow to follow?
Hmm. So the thing about hobgoblins is that when they die, they explode.
Is
Oh.
that the thing about hobgoblins?
Is that a thing that I knew? What about gnolls though?
Gnolls don't typically. Sometimes the hyenas sort of melt into sort of a black ooze. Uh, the more humanoid gnolls tend to just like die, and as anything else does. Hobgoblins tend to explode, and these sort of like, I assume, corrupted gnolls also seem to explode.
Okay. Oh, I just also had a thought. Marrow is with us, yes?
Yeah.
So this person that we're talking to should know what a gnoll looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They did not react to Marrow at all?
They seem more surprised by Alina.
Okay.
You can probably also surmise that, like, that you guys have a big monstrous dog has gotten around. So she kind of, like, of course, did a double take of, like, oh, that's a big dog, but, like, not,
Okay.
bristled or anything at it.
Okay. Um. All right. Um. So look like a caravan and be in the right place at the right time.
Oh, the wrong time. It's, choice.
However
Yes.
you want to view that.
I'd much rather take them unawares, though. I think if we can. Um. You know, setting ourselves as bait for a trap doesn't seem like a particularly smart thing to do. Um. I guess I'll consult with Marrow. Does Marrow think that they could track down the layer if we get them somewhat close, like within like a few miles of it? Actually, we could probably start at one of the site of the attacks that's nearby, and just go from there. That's probably easiest.
I mean, if Marrow or Dirt gets a scent, then they can track from that. Like,
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'd look for the site of the most recent attack that's in the north,
yeah.
and then
And you just want to.
we'll take that as our starting point and see if we can track them back to their lair after they leave. They've left.
Okay. So you're just taking yourselves? Are you taking the horses you came in on? Are you taking wagons or anything? Or it's like, what are you taking with you, and how are you going along? There is a road-ish. It's not like a paved road like the old Imperial roads in Bosmar.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of just like, a dirt, cart path and stuff through the woods. Uh, Carriages run on it fine. So it's, if you want to take a carriage, you can sort. That's what they do for the convoys. Or are you just going on foot and just making your way through?
I mean, I feel like this would probably, if we want to try and catch them in their lair unawares, we want to try and make it something of a stealth mission.
Okay.
Aelita, this is your rodeo, so I think the final command decision is up to you. But I would recommend, if we have, I think we have the time to spend
Ah.
kind of going sneakily.
I agree. I think stealth is the way we.
Okay. Uh, getting all the way to the front on foot is about a 4-day walk. Just because you don't, like, it's, 2 days from here to here,
Could we
and
have?
now you're going from here to there on foot.
Let's see. Could we have like a small squad of soldiers kind of like drive with us on a coach to there, and then we'll leave them behind when we go to track down, like, so I guess so it's I'm trying to think. It's been 2 days
Mhm.
of travel already.
Yep.
Where's my calendar? So we're here. We're thinking getting to there is a 4-day journey on foot.
Yeah.
I guess we probably want to go somewhere like that. That's 4 days on foot. But this is the most frequent site of caravan. So like, does the road like literally go like right along the border?
There are cart paths, but yeah, because the front is a bit in flux, but the front is also like very well fought over. So there's not like a lot of trees and brush
And cover.
and stuff as far as you're aware. But yeah, there's like a cart path that goes up here. There's one that sort of goes here and various.
Yeah,
they have to supply the various
yeah.
places.
Yeah. So maybe we take a coach to here, and then try and track to here. So that would be like a 1-day journey. This distance.
Yeah, on foot. Yeah. Yeah, approximately.
So we could take 1 day here, 1 day there, 1 day back. So that'd be 4 days for an expedition.
So it'd be to get out there with horses to like get to the border. That's probably another. So 2 days here, 2 days there. Probably like 1 day to like search the general area near the border. Like they can't be too far away because they've made some attacks like one attack and then an attack the next day, sort of thing. Like they are close enough that they're not deep into no lands.
Right.
So they're probably within a day on foot from where they've been striking from.
Okay.
So they're not going to be. So once you get to the border, it's probably will take
close.
a day on foot to find them. You assume you're not as fast as wolves, but whatever.
Right. Okay. So then, I guess, do we want to come back to Walden after that, or do we want to just go straight back to Norrest?
Phelan, do you want to come back to?
That is a good question. Let us see how long this takes. I can always reach back out.
Okay.
I don't know that this place will have much information on where I'm trying to go. And while it would be nice to see my family, I don't want to worry them either.
I mean, you could always stop it and say hi to them today, and then we'll leave. So this is 2 days. So that puts us on the 29th, then 30th, and then that puts us at the 32nd, back at Norrest if we go straight back to Norrest.
Assuming no shenanigans.
Assuming no shenanigans. So we're already looking at missing our dinner dates.
Oh boy.
I will say too, probably just because dinners usually occur on like those things are on rest days. You probably would have told them the 35th instead of the 31st for just like etiquette reasons.
That makes things more easier. I considered doing that, being like, we'll do rest day, but okay. So yeah, so we've got plenty of time. So let's take the horses out to here and then search on foot, so we're stealthy, and then hopefully we can find their lair and beat them out of it.
Okay. All right. I can definitely prep for that.
Yep.
Alright, I hate to be this way, but I have to go. I'm being
Alright.
summoned to help with stuff.
Before, because I'm not sure if I remember, did you Vagabond tell Thur what you realized about the months?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Also, a funny, me side note. Y'all were laughing at Nash and I yesterday about our sleut behavior. Al and I are equally as bad. We just do it quietly and shit.
What did we do?
They were laughing at Brian and I yesterday
As we all do.
for just screwing that people are hot and stuff
Ah, yes.
and being incredibly unhinged all the time. And I just like the fact that you and I are the same way. We just do it in a chat instead of out loud.
There's a common denominator there, Rose.
It's me! Alright, I have to go to bed.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
And we're probably good on the recording there.